If I connect back that we have started organic chemistry, and in Edexcel, this is a list of our chapters: introduction, crude oil, alkanes, alkenes, alcohols. Now you look again these names, alkanes, alkenes. So now you identify them that these are actually hydrocarbons. Syllabus for the first part, introduction part, is here, and we start the concept that organic chemistry is the study of compounds that contain carbon. Carbon is the source of organic compounds, but other elements also make compounds, but carbon can make huge number of compounds. So they separated carbon and made a separate branch. There are different families of hydrocarbons: alkanes, alkenes, and we made the definition of hydrocarbons. I have changed the color for arenes, number 4, because it is not in our course, O-level course. It's only a reference name. It will be there, inshallah, in A-level chemistry. So we made this concept. Now, this is the first primary thing. Now, as mentioned earlier, that the problem was that these compounds were growing every day, now every hour actually. So organic compounds all contain the element carbon. The simplest organic compound is the alkane. Look at the formula, CH4. Look at the formula, CH4, and look at the shape of methane. Methane is actually very close to our life. Normally the gas we use in our house for making food, the stove gas, is methane. In some countries it is provided in pipelines, some countries it is provided in cylinders. So I make my fifth concept for today. Organic compounds like methane, ethane are in our common life. They are famous fuels. Hydrocarbons are famous fuel, like methane is a very famous fuel. Look at this diagram. Now you have to copy this screen. I'm just coming in a minute. You have to copy this screen.
Sure. छः बजे. Sir, I'm done. Sir, I'm done.
Now we put our next concept. Majority are fuels. So some of them, majority hydrocarbons are fuel. Some of them are known, very well known, like we call it gasoline. You must have heard about the name octane, high octane, hexane, propane, methane. Methane is also called the main component of natural gas. So this is our fifth concept. What is the fifth concept?
Majority hydrants are fuel. Some of them are very well known.
Majority hydrocarbons are fuel. For example, methane. Methane in our common life is called as a very big source of natural gas. Also, we call petrol, we call diesel, we call gasoline, we call high octane. They all are hydrocarbons. So we made our 5 concepts. Then syllabus focuses on organic compounds, how to label them, how to show them, because as mentioned, it's a huge chemistry and it's a ever-growing chemistry. Now, our syllabus specification point 4.2 is there. It says that you have to make a method to show the organic compounds in the form where you can discuss them, where you can make their reactions like their empirical formula, molecular formula, and like other formulas. So let's make our next discussion. But first, we need a quick introduction of the primary family of organic compounds. We need an introduction of primary family of hydrocarbons and organic compounds. That family is called alkanes. Alkanes is the primary family of organic compounds. You can say these are the forefathers, and they started organic chemistry. Like in physics, there are some base quantities. In pure chemistry, elements are there. So make a concept. This will be our sixth concept. Alkanes are the founder members of organic chemistry. What is the concept?
Alkanes are the founder member of
Organic
chemistry.
chemistry. Founder members means they started this company and they were the forefathers. So alkanes, everything orbit with their name, just like we take our father name, we take our father name, we take our mother name, we connect to our grandparents, grandparents. So remember that organic chemistry is a huge speed evolving chemistry. The root of this chemistry is alkane. Alkanes is the root of organic chemistry. So it means organic chemistry evolved from alkanes. So we made this concept and now we can go forward. You have to copy this screen.
Yes, sir, I wrote it down.
Good. General formula. General formula is like a formula in physics where you can represent the family by a single formula, formula, you can represent the whole family CnH2n plus 2. This is called general formula. You have to copy this. Now, if I stop here and I ask you to make a link, chemistry is always a connected science. After bio, it is the most connected science. You have to connect all the concepts together like a chain, and you have to hold the chain, avoiding any cross-link, avoiding any tangling. This is where chemistry is superior because it's a memory-driven chemistry subject. Now, we started the idea that compounds of carbon are called organic compounds. This is called organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a separate branch. Why? Because compounds of carbon are huge in number, and this number is not constant. This number is increasing continuously. Organic compounds belong to carbon. Organic compounds belong to carbon, and organic chemistry is the study of carbon compounds. Then we introduce the concept of hydrocarbons. We say that the first group of organic compounds were hydrocarbons. They are the compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen. And if you quickly go back and you see the example of the compounds, alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, arenes, these are the families. Then we discussed that methane is the simplest organic compound in our knowledge. This is methane. Majority hydrocarbons are famous as fuel. Then we started alkanes and we considered that alkanes are the forefathers. They are the fundamental organic compounds. General formula is CnH2n. Okay, are you clear till here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm asking a question and you have to answer it honestly without looking. The question is
Okay.
there. What are hydrocarbons?
What are hydrocarbons?
Yes. Do not look at the notes. Answer with, because it's not a
Okay.
test.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Um, they're basically the compounds that contain carbon and hydrogen.
Good. And majority of them are fuel,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So let's see. I'm developing the family. I'm starting a subject. So when you go to meet someone, you meet their parents, you meet their family members, you meet, if the grandparents are there, luckily you meet them. So these are the grandparents of organic chemistry. The methane is the first member. Now the formula of methane is CH4. The second member is called ethane. The formula is C2H6. You are a math student, obviously. So I
Yes.
will ask you, I will ask you to compare these formulas with the formula written above also. Number 4, butane. Can you find a link between these formulas and CnH2n plus 2?
A link between the general formula and these ones?
Yes.
Um, they both have carbon and hydrogen.
Right. But can you make a mathematical link? If look at the formula, if I ask you to put n is equal to 5 in the formula,
Mm.
look at the formula CnH2n plus 2. If I ask you to put n is equal to 5,
Yes.
what you,
Which one I'll choose?
yes, can you please repeat? What did you say?
You're asking me if n is equals to 5, which one I should choose from 1 to 5.
No, no, no. I repeat my question. Let me ask again.
Okay.
This is the formula. Look, this is the formula. And I say, if I put N5, so
Yes.
you write C5,
Yeah.
then you will write,
H2n plus H2 5 plus 2.
very good, simplify it.
10.
Very good. C5, 2 5s are 10 plus 2.
Yes.
How much? Final answer?
12.
Very good. Now look at this and look at this. So it
Yeah,
is
they're the same.
general formula. If you remember the general formula, you can develop the whole sequence.
Okay.
Got it? Now,
Yes.
another question coming from maths, and because maths is a compulsory subject, so do you know what is penta, hexa, hepta, octa in maths?
Yes, the shapes.
Penta means, you remember the pentagon,
Yes.
polygon is a chapter in maths. Hexagon, penta means what? 5.
Yeah.
Hexa means
6.
good, very good. The two mathematical concepts have been transferred. So now you have to copy this screen.
Okay. Yes, sir, I'm done writing.
Good. Let's revise that concept coming from the maths. Let's recall. Penta means 5. Hexa means 6. Hepta means 7. Octa means 8. Nona. Again, the same thing why they were doing like that. In a family, if you go, there are suppose 2, 3 kids, family has a just like some senior in the family, parents, grandparents, you will find separate names for each of them. This is possible because 5 to 6 members are there. But when the members are in thousands, even in a school, when there are hundreds of students, you can't remember all of them by name. What you do, you divide them in classes, then you divide them in sections, then you can identify them. So this is actually what they were doing. Because organic compounds are huge, it was a crowd, and every day increasing. So they involve maths. They decided that when organic compound contain 5 carbon, it will be a penta. When organic compound contain 6 carbon, it will be a hexa. Then if it contains 7 carbon, it will be hepta. So this was the idea, because they understood you can't label them separately. And I explained that this is a number which is unlimited, millions, trillions compounds. So there is no way you can actually label them by individual names. We have our individual names. So you have to copy this screen also.
Okay.
Copy it.
Yes.
Good. Let's continue the series. I hope now you understand how they were making this family. You have to
Yes,
copy
I
this.
understand.
You have to copy this list. I'm just coming in a minute. I have to say, I'm just coming up.
Okay, sure.
So we developed this concept that these are the forefathers, and we stopped at 10. Even 6 are enough, and I made it because it is easier to understand how this family was evolving, and definitely you can understand that this can go forever. 11, 12, 13, and there is no number, it can go for millions. We need maximum 10. Actually 6 are enough if you remember them. But if you know the formula, you can always get it from the formula, and you can write the formula, remember the formula of every family, and then you can make the family members from the formula.
Okay.
Now we come to our point here, that there is a general formula applies to families of compounds. The empirical formula was in our O-level class, earlier class topics. I hope you remember what is an empirical formula. Empirical formula is the simplest whole number ratio. What is molecular formula? Molecular formula shows the actual number of atoms, the ratio in actual number, like C4H10 is the molecular formula, while C2H5 is the empirical formula.
Sir, could you please repeat what's the empirical formula? Like,
Uh, Actually, I was waiting for you, that if you can recall for me that in our O-level chemistry initial classes, the first month of O-level chemistry, people talk about these formulas. Look at this screen. These are all formulas. These are all formulas, C4, H6, C3, H8, etc. These are all formulas. Now, when you reach organic chemistry, you have to look a point that there are many formulas, many types of formulas in our organic chemistry, which we get from our basic chemistry. You have to give a heading, formulas.
okay. Done.
Now we developed a memory from our earlier chemistry, as mentioned, that there are different types of formulas. And if I recall from the first one was empirical formula. The second one is the molecular formula. These two are in your memory, should be in your memory from earlier classes. Then number 3, structural formula. Then displayed formula. Then we have skeletal formula. So these are the formulas which you have to remember. You have to copy this screen.
Yes, sir, I wrote it down.
Good. So I start from my memory. For example, I say C2H4. 2:4 is the real ratio. Real ratio means that this compound has 2 atoms of carbon and 4 atoms of hydrogen. If I simplify this 2:4, it will become 1:2. The compound will become C1H2. Now, 1:2 is only mathematical ratio. If you remember from earlier chemistry classes, when chemistry started, what these numbers show, 2, 4, 6, these numbers show the number of atoms. So real ratio means what? Real ratio means 2 atoms of carbon with 4 atoms of hydrogen. Can you understand this point, that what is
Yes.
what is actually the purpose of the formula? A formula shows the ratio of atoms. Now the original ratio, which is the real ratio, this one is called molecular formula, and this one is called empirical formula. So copy this and make the concept.
Yes, I already wrote it down.
So what is the molecular formula?
Molecular formula will be C2H4, like the
Which
formula,
shows the
like,
real ratio.
yeah, the real
And
ratio.
what is an empirical formula?
The mathematical ratio.
Hmm. So we have discussed empirical formula, and this is our syllabus 4.2. Syllabus says that the molecular formula is the real formula, and empirical formula is actually a simplified ratio. It does not show the real numbers. It does not show the real situation. It's only a mathematically simplified version. So we stop here, and we will inshallah continue in our next class. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Allah Hafiz, sir.